this. So time for us to stop the share for a minute so that you get to see where we all are. So hi and welcome. I hope you can see, you may be able to see Sharon as well. I'm not sure, Sharon, because I've changed my share thing. But anyway, let me just get back over here. There we go. So I can see. Yes, I think everybody can see you. So welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you who don't know, I'm Paul Dunn. That is Sharon Chan, but you're going to get to meet Sharon in just a little while. One of the things that we need you to do, close all the windows, not the windows in your office or whatever, but close all your windows, right? Because we need you focused here. In fact, I think when we start this, you won't be able to take your eyes off what is going on. And by the way, some of the stuff is kind of fine, so you're going to want to be sort of, you know, getting in close to what's going on here. Let's make sure that I've got the chat going. I'm talking of chat. You might want to get your fingers ready over the chat as I share my screen again. So let's just share the screen, and I can do that from here. Zoom always pops that little thing in there. So let's talk about, kind of nice, you know, to have an agenda, right? So let's give you an agenda. Where are we heading? This is, you remember those things when you get on planes and they say, this is flight number so-and-so to Somerset. Well, that's what this is. That's just making sure that we are in the right place. We can look at automating your giving. But in fact, I think another way of thinking about that is that what we're going to be doing today is making your giving work wonders for you. It's just extraordinary, and Sharon is going to be the most extraordinary part of all this as she runs you through some things. Talking of Sharon, let's take a look at where we're heading. We've got three major kind of areas. First of all, we're going to meet Sharon in just a little while, and I'll tell you some things about Sharon because I think this is the first time, in fact, yes it is, that you've had the opportunity, perhaps unless you've been at one of the B1G1 conferences to meet Sharon. You are going to see, courtesy of Sharon, a wide range of real life examples. Live examples live examples which we want you to replicate in your business. And by way of replication, before we finish, do stay around for this because a couple of really interesting things. We want you to select a DIY. Well, you know what DIY stands for, I suspect. DW and or a DWI. I wonder what DWI stands for. To move forward. You will find out what they are. But first, couple of things we need to do. Here's the first one. Jump up on the chat and let us know where you are now. Go ahead, jump up, because this gets us kind of perked up when we see all the chat coming in. We want to know where you are now and what's the weather like. And by the way, make sure you use the drop down which says all panelists and attendees. So go ahead, jump up on that chat, get it going. Come on, come on. Oh, there we go. Let me just make sure I've got it open so I can see where it's all coming from. Manila, sunny, Julie, you serious? You're in Portugal today? Oh my goodness. Seriously, oh, that place, oh, Bristol, oh my goodness, miserable day in Glasgow, says Joanna. Cambridge, oh my goodness, and look at that in Derbyshire, the sun is shining. Heather, we are thrilled to know that the sun is shining in Derbyshire. Thank you so much for letting us know that. So now we know where you all are. By the way, the real cool thing about that is getting on the chat, and I think, oh, Heather, you did an all panelist one as opposed to an all panelist and attendees. So make sure you get that all panelist and attendees drop down so that we can all see what's going on, unless you want to get to us personally, as it were. Now, I want to begin by giving you a reminder. I remember, I think it was 4 years ago, when Masami had this stunning idea at the time to introduce into B1G1 a thing called giving stories. Now, not everybody uses, at this point, giving stories in B1G1. So I just want to remind you what these things are. So have a look. This is, by the way, where you find it. When you get onto your B1G1 account, you hit, you'll be brought up automatically on Impact, and then where we want you to go, don't go there now, don't do it now, but this is where the giving story thing is. And when you hit that giving story thing, you will see lots of giving stories. In fact, I think, Sharon, there we go, I actually did. I just pressed the wrong button and we didn't get to see what I wanted you to see, which is this. Let's have a look at this. Let's look at what happens when you create a giving story. And this is why it's really, really cool. So you can create a trigger. In this case, we're going to have a look at when a new invoice is paid. We can link that to a project. We can even make a picture of it. And since we're going to use maybe an accounting system to do that, let's say we'll put a picture of a Xero logo in there so that we remind us that now we link it to the project. We're going to choose an education project in this particular case. And since I'm a fast reader, watch this, I'm going to find a project. So here come all the projects. I hope you can follow them up there. And I'm going to find this one, which is in India. Here it comes, where we are going to feed a child. Actually, we're going to feed 2 children at school. We're just going to increase it there. And now what we've got is a giving story, so which is kind of interesting, and that's where it sits when you open it up. Now, of course, the interesting thing about that is that's just the story itself. What happens is when you've created the story, you've got to go and figure out, well, how many invoices came in, when was the invoice paid, and then you've got to enter, or someone has got to enter those numbers in there. But what if that was automated? What if that happened automatically? And by the way, I am a beneficiary of the work that Sharon and the team have been doing over the last 6 months. Because, let me show you what a giving story looks like. An automated giving story. So here's a giving story that I have, which says when someone completes a giving plan, we give 6 days of access. Now, in the past, I had to figure out how many people were doing giving plans and so on and so on and so forth. But now I don't have to do that. See, what's happened is, you can see there, I've got, this is the cart, where I have something in the cart, and you can see, as I just bring this in, look at that, just zoom it in for you, you can see the quantity, which is 111. By the way, that was 103 this morning. So that's been happening automatically. Something magically has increased that number by 8. And by the way, you'll notice that I'm still in control of it, because I can choose when I pay or when I don't. So the bit at the top there is the magic piece, which Sharon is going to spend a lot of time on. But the great thing is that you are still in control of all this wonderful magic that is going on. By the way, I am blown away by this. When we first saw it, I said it was, well, I'll tell you what I said it was in just a minute. But it's not just me that's blown away by this. Let me show you a post that came up on Facebook recently from one of our members. This is Tim Wade. You can see the date of the post, and you can see that he says, I've just created a new giving story for subscribers to my Impact Circle, Think newsletters. I've added it to my website with a subscribe link, which then opens it. You can read it all out. So everything is happening automatically, and he says through B1G1's new integration. And so Tim was one of the beta people, and he says, look at that last part, I just love it when great things work. And thank you, B1G1 team. Now, so we think it's pretty cool. Oh, for some reason, I'm just seeing all of the chat. Why am I seeing all of the chat like that, Sharon? Do you know, that's never happened to me before. I don't know why that happened. Anyway, let's get back here. I think this is a game changer. It doesn't matter, though, what I think. What matters is what you think. So when I think of game changers, I think of things like this, but I also think of some of people at B1G1, and Sharon, who you are about to meet, is absolutely a game changer. And let me tell you why. Just very quickly, she said to me, don't say all of this stuff, but let me give it you quickly. She graduated from Raffles. Some of you would know Raffles in 2008. In 2014, she joined us as an intern, sadly only for about 3 or 4 months. But in that 3 or 4 months, we gave her like superstar status. She was the person who launched from nothing our first B1G1 app called Shake the World. So then she had to leave, of course, to go back and complete her studies. She didn't just complete her studies at Singapore Management University. She was the valedictorian there. She then went to work with the government in Singapore for an organization called Spring, which focuses on helping small to medium-scale businesses do extraordinary things. So she was a manager there. And when she left B1G1 as an intern in 2014, we said, Sharon, please come back whenever you can. And so in 2017, Sharon came back. We were so thrilled to have her. And Sharon is now the Director of Strategy and Systems right here at B1G1. And right here at B1G1 is where she is. So Sharon, thank you for putting up with that introduction. I know that's all very embarrassing and everything else. But anyway, it's great to see you.
Yes, it's great to see you. Thank you so much, Paul. And hello, everybody. I'm Sharon from the B1G1 team. And welcome to our very first, second actually, our second web event on automating your giving. Let me just share my screen in a moment. All right.
Okay, off you go.
All right, and all of you can see this. Yes, so today, this giving automation web event, we're going to focus on a special tool called Zapier. But before we dive in, I wanted to share with you the motivation behind why we developed the B1G1 integration with Zapier. So, well, as most of you may know, B1G1 was founded on a very visionary what if. What if you could change lives by doing what you do every day? And as Paul has shown you just now with our Giving Story feature, this is now possible when you link a business activity to a giving towards a high impact project. And so with today's B1G1 Zapier integration, we have achieved a new milestone by allowing this to become even more real-time, more seamless, and really one step closer to achieving this vision. So that's reason number one. Reason number two for developing the Zapier integration is because Zapier is actually a platform that 3 million plus businesses are currently using. So what that means is that when B1G1 becomes official on the Zapier platform, it's not just the 3,000 businesses in the B1G1 movement that will get to benefit from this solution, but potentially 3 million plus businesses get to change lives and create impact just by doing what they do every day. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you for making being part of this movement and making this possible with us today. All right, so a very quick overview of Zapier. For those who are unfamiliar, Zapier is an online automation tool that allows you, without programming knowledge, that allows you to be able to connect apps that you use every day together. And Zapier rhymes with happier, so we think that with B1G1, you would be able to make your giving happier as well. What it actually allows you to do is it allows B1G1 now to connect with 1,500 plus apps, and these apps include things like Infusionsoft, Xero, and MailChimp, and many, many more. So I'm sure all of you would have apps that are already available in Zapier and things that you can already use right now. So before I go into the examples, and there will be a lot of them, I really just want to understand a bit more about who is here online with us today. So Paul is going to set up a quick poll, and please let us know.
I am, Sharon. There I am. Now, you may not be able to see it, but the poll is up there now. And it says, we are already using Zapier. So yes, on that one. No is pretty obvious. We're not using it. And some of you may not be sure. So we thought we put that third option in. And how interesting is this, Sharon? This morning, wow, we're getting so many people voting. A couple more people need to vote, though. Go ahead. We need 5 more people to vote. Come on, I'm going to give you 10 more seconds. But interestingly, this morning, we went, there's a not sure. Look at that. We got a 75-25 break. And that's, in fact, almost exactly what we have today, Sharon, as well. So just to confirm that, what that means is that, in fact, I'll give you the actual numbers. 73% said no, we're not using Zapier, and 23% said yes, we are, and 5% said not sure.
Not sure.
Not
okay.
Sure. So thank you for getting onto that poll. By the way, you're going to need to do some more little checking. This one is a bit more complicated, isn't it, Sharon? Because we want to know a couple of other things about you. So keep your fingers poised.
That's right. So now we would like you to get on the chat and do let us know what are the apps that you use most regularly in your business. So these could be social media apps, these could be your accounting software, your invoicing software, project management tools, and so on. So whatever it is, just get on the chat and let us know.
Yeah, so it could be your accounting software, for example, things like Xero, Intuit, whatever it is you're using. There we go. Oh, Heather using Xero. Good. Lots of people using Xero this morning as well. And Asana, Heather. Well done. You're using Asana. Sage as well. Free Agent. Very good, Shad. And by the way, it's very easy to find out whether Zoho. Interesting. Let's look at that. Ashana's got an interesting question, which we will get to. Hootsuite. So many things. Well done, everybody. Practice Ignition as well. So lots of great things that you're using, which means there's lots of wonderful things that you can do. And Sharon is going to show you just a few of them, aren't you, Sharon?
Yes, that's right. So I'll just jump into the quick demo, and I think based on the I will just be doing this. All right. So here's a list of the giving zaps that I will be going through with all of us today,
Okay.
and I will be spending more time on the first example and the last example, and then I'll skim through those in the middle because they're pretty much similar, and this will give you a very good breadth and idea of what are the zaps that you could create for your business as well. So let's start with imagining, for example, I think for most businesses, one of the things that one of the business activities that would definitely happen is that someone pays you for something, right? Otherwise, you might not be a very good business. So let's imagine that you would want to give every time you get paid. And that is this example over here. So it says, whenever a new invoice is paid, we give 2 school meals via B1G1. And that is very similar to the giving story that Paul created
Mm.
earlier today. Yeah. So briefly, what is in a zap is number 1 the trigger, and number 2 the action. And the trigger is essentially the activity that starts the zap running, and the action is what you would like the zap to do. So in this case, because in B1G1 we track our payments and our invoices through Xero, I'm going to use Xero as the trigger app. And from the list of the triggers, I would select new sales invoice, and Zapier also allows me to select options. And in this case, I will put the status of the invoice as paid. So this means that every
Now, this is
time.
all happening very quick, so make sure you're focused in on here, right? So Sharon is getting. And by the way, is there a drop down on that, Sharon, on the status there, or not?
Yes, there is. Yeah, so it could be
Yeah.
all invoices.
Excellent.
It could be draft, awaiting payment, awaiting approval, and paid. But paid makes the most
Okay.
sense for me over here.
Okay.
So this means that whenever an invoice is paid on Xero, then the Zap would start to run. So let's see what it does. Over here, I've selected Add Giving Story to Cart in my actions. So I could optionally select Add Favorite Project. And in the options, I get to select from a whole list of giving stories that I've already created on my account. So in this case, I'll select the invoice one, and the quantity is default to 1. So I'm going to show you how it works. The cool thing about Zapier is that it allows you to test things and simulate the action of the Zap whenever it happens. So this is my B1G1 account, and as you can see over here, my giving cart reflects 0, so it's empty right now. But let's see what happens when I send a test. Hey, it says test was successful and a test giving story was added. Ta-da! Okay, it says 1.
There
And
it is.
yeah, and Paul wasn't pressing any buttons in the background, just to assure.
No, I promise. I promise. I was.
Yeah, so this is automatically done by Zapier, and this is what happens every time an invoice gets paid. I get the giving story added to my cart automatically, and I just need to wait for it to accumulate up to a certain point in time when I'm ready to make payment. So that's essentially what a Zap looks like and how you use it. So I'm just going to pause over here, and I want to find out how many of you would find something like this relevant to you, and do you already have a giving story like this? What are some of the questions that you have?
That's a great question, Sharon. So how did you just pop it on the chat? And by the way, thank you for so many questions. Look at that. Can we work with PayPal? What about Stripe? All of those sorts of things. We're going to deal with all of that. But just when you saw what Sharon was able to do there, that is the invoice is done, it links it, and then it adds into the giving cart so it's easy for you to give. What do you reckon? Was that sort of cool, or brilliant? Wow, very, very good. Well, that's just the simplest part. Wait till you see some more. Thank you for the feedback. Keep the feedback coming.
Yeah, thank you,
So what
Paul.
have we got to look at now?
Yeah, so that's a very fundamental basic Zap that for you to embed your giving every time you get paid. But for some other businesses, you may want to embed giving in many other areas of your business, and in fact throughout your customer journey. So I have 2 examples over here. One is that whenever someone subscribes to our newsletter, we add a giving story to the cart. And you could also say, for example, whenever we complete a task for a client or a customer, we add a giving story to the cart as well. So you would notice that the structure of the Zaps are very similar to the first one. I'm just going to step in to let you take a look at how it is. So the action is almost exactly the same, which is the add giving story to cart on B1G1. But the trigger in this case is a different app. And this is because in B1G1, and for this example, when people subscribe to our newsletters, we actually add a tag to the contact in Infusionsoft. So Infusionsoft is my trigger app over here. And in the list of triggers, I have chosen tag added to contact. And you can see that there's actually a list of other triggers, lots more possibilities actually. I would put here, I would identify the tag ID that is being tagged to the contact. So whenever someone subscribes to the newsletter, tag 799 is applied on Infusionsoft, and that starts the Zap running. And what it does is that it adds this giving story to the cart. When you subscribe to our newsletter, we give 5 bricks towards building school facilities to support education. So similar to the previous app, I'm just going to test it and let you see how it looks like. And just to be sure that it works.
Yippee.
All right, test was successful.
Did we get a yippee? There we go.
Okay.
All right, so that was linking a newsletter thing. And Sharon, by the way, you've got lots of questions on it, which you may not be able to see because you're focusing here. Don't bother. Right. Just keep focusing.
Yeah, okay. We'll be sure to answer all the questions. So no worries about that.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. Okay, so the other example is when we complete a task. So if you use a project management tool, so whether it's Asana that we saw earlier or Trello, this is also possible. So for this example, I've used Trello because that's how I manage my developers' tasks. So I've chosen the trigger, which is cart move to list. So in my Trello board, which is the design task Trello board, whenever I move a cart from in progress to the completed list, that's when I know that a task is completed by my designers. And whenever that happens, it actually gets the Zap running. And in this case, I am adding a different giving story to the cart. It says, when we complete a task, we provide 12 daily doses of vitamin supplements to children in need.
Yes.
Yeah, so you could get really creative and with the Zapier, just so many possibilities.
Oh, wow. And you got now, Sharon, people are saying again some lovely things. What do you think, guys? Keep that feedback coming. Yeah. You can start to see, I think, that there's some amazing things that can be done. And thank you for the feedback. Mm-hmm. There it was. But Sharon, this next one you've got is kind of interesting, isn't it? In as much as it goes a little further. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So besides giving every time you get paid and giving throughout your customer journey, you may want to give through and with your social media activity. And this example was actually inspired by one of our premium partners, Monty, who happens to be on this call. So Monty shared that and I think for a lot of businesses as well, you would have some form of social media activity and presence. And sometimes it could be a struggle trying to get your social media up and running. But you know that it's important for you to post regularly so that you engage your community and clients. So Monty has that same struggle, and he said that, okay, I'm going to embed giving with my social media activity, so that will incentivize me and keep me accountable to posting things on Instagram, and that's just how he kind of sees giving and his business growing together at the same time. So that's a really cool example, and it's very simple. It follows the same structure that we've seen with the action being adding giving story to the cart, and our trigger in this case would be social media apps, so Instagram, and this trigger over here is new media posted in my account. So every time we post something on our Instagram, or Monty posts something on his Instagram, a giving story can be added to the cart. In this case, it's 20 learning tools to children with special needs. How cool is that? So I'm going to test it at the same time. Yeah. So let us know if you find this useful as well.
Yes, if there's then this, yes, exactly, Ashad. Yes, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Now,
okay. You guys are getting the
those ones were good. Yeah, you're getting it right. But have a look at this one. This one is because you probably do surveys and things. But have a look at what can happen here. This is a really interesting. Sharon, we're loving this. Keep going.
Great. Okay. So besides just, if this, then this, we actually think that this giving automation tool has a lot more potential, and we want you to unleash your creative juices in giving. So I've just turned this Zap on because it's much more fun watching how it works live. So this is what I've come up with, and we use Typeform for this survey. I think most of you businesses would interact with your customers online right now in this day and age. And from time to time, you may be sending customer surveys just to find out if they're delighted with your services and how you can improve. So let's see what the survey form does. It could say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how delighted are you with our services? Let's assume we get a 10 for this. And then it can say, we'd love to show our gratitude by having you choose a project you'd like us to give towards. So this gives now the customer an option of choosing project A, B, or C that resonates most with them. For example, I would choose Rescue One Meal for the Hungry over here, and I'll click on Submit. And the magic is that it says, just by you doing business with us, we've created 10 impacts towards the project of your choice through our partnership with B1G1. So let's see what happens in our cart over here. So we have 5 items, but I'm just going to refresh. And here we go. Give it some time. It says,
Drum roll.
it says when someone fills in our customer delight survey and chooses meals, we rescue 1 meal for the hungry in the US. And this giving story, and because we scored a 10, we have 10 of these giving stories in our cart, just like that. So this is made possible through Zapier as well. And I'm just.
And Sharon, I just need to let you know that Kahinda, who's Sharon, Kahinda, who's an accountant in Greenwich, I think, just close to London from memory, says this is his comment on the chat. You can probably see that. This is great. I use Zapier to create a spreadsheet that I use to calculate my giving. Now I can just change my Zap directly. Big thumbs up. Exactly. You got it in one. Very good.
Awesome. So this is very similar. The anatomy of this Zap is very similar to the previous ones in that there is still one trigger. And in this case, our trigger is from Typeform. So every time a new entry is put into our Typeform, our survey, then the Zap starts to run. But in this case, instead of having one action, you actually see there's multiple paths over here. So this is a conditional logic feature that allows you to do different actions based on what the details of the form over here. So if the customer were to choose project A, then this Zap would run. If customer were to choose project C, then this Zap would run. And what we've done over here is, so you see we can add a giving story to the cart. And at the same time, you could do multiple step Zaps if you have a paid Zapier plan as well. And it can send a direct message to you on Slack or any other messenger tool that you use so that you know in real time exactly what is happening and what kind of giving is being added to your cart. So there's lots of possibilities, and it could be very exciting. And we encourage you to be creative on this and let us know what you built, because that would be very exciting for us to know too.
Oh, Sharon, that is great stuff. And Sharon, why don't we do this? Because we promised people, right, that we would let them know how they can move on from here. Yeah. So why don't I take back the share, which then would give you the opportunity to have a look at some of those questions. But as I take back the share, everybody on the chat, please do this. Let's put a one-word response in there, which gives us a sense of how you're feeling about what you just saw. You know, it could be cool, it could be fantastic, it could be not sure, it could be scary, it could be, but just a one-word thing. We'd love you to, look at that, excited. There you go. That's a good Portugal. Mark, very good. So keep those things coming whilst I get on my thing here and start to share some ideas now as to how you can take this further. So what I'm going to do, Sharon, and Keith, I love the fact that Keith is an accountant, you see, because Keith says interested, right? That's a beautiful accountant thing. Wonderful, Keith. Okay, so let's do this. I promised you, I gave you 3 things right up front as to where we're heading. Well, this is really where we've been, right? So we met Sharon, and of course Sharon's still there. She hasn't gone away. So keep those things coming in on the chat. See a wide range, and you certainly saw a wide range of real life examples. And then we said, this is where the action step comes in, that you can select some interesting options. You'll see there are 3 options. The DIY, you obviously know, but the DWY, you may not know. So let's have a look at those options now. I said there were 3. So here's the first one. Now, you will recall that 25% roughly, I think 23% of us, what's that, 1 in 5 of us said, 1 in 4, yes, said, we know Zapier. Right. If you know Zapier, then this is the link that you go to take advantage of what we have been speaking about here. Sharon, we must also say that when you look at that shortened link, please use capitals, right? B1G1 Zap. Sharon, do you want to quickly just say what happens when people go, that is the people who already know the Zaps, what happens when they get there?
Yep, sure. So this is the link that actually leads you to the early access page for the B1G1 integration on Zapier. So you would go there and you would click a button and you can get access to B1G1 on your account, on your Zapier account directly. And you can get started with zapping.
Very fantastic. And this next one then is for if you're new to Zapier, or you know, this whole thing is new, and we're going to give you two options. And if it was me, I know which option I would take, but we're going to give you two. Okay. So the first one is this DIY. And you can see that again in capitals, that shortened link, B1G1 Zap Self-Help. And what that does, rather obviously, is take you to some interesting material which shows you how to build the zaps that Sharon was talking about. Anything you wanted to say about that, Sharon?
Well, we have a step-by-step PDF guide for the people who would like to follow at their own pace, and we also have a video tutorial if you just like to follow along, and that's done by me as well.
Okay.
So.
Okay, very good. Now, that I've got to say that's not the option I would take. I would take this option. I would take the DWY option. Take a note of it. It's bit.ly B1G1 Zap. Yes. Now, let's explain what DWY stands for. It stands for done with you, or we could say doing it with you. Now, the with is really, really important. So when you take this option, it means you will be connecting with us. We'll find out about your giving stories and all of those kind of things. In fact, let me show you what's included in this thing. Now, normally you would invest, when we're doing this for you, there would be $250 for you to get that service. But follow the bouncing ball, if you will. So it's not going to be $250. It is going to be $195, but that is only for the first 50. So you want to get in there really quickly. Now, let me just explain what's going to happen when you do that. In other words, what do you get? It includes a number of very special things. You'll see two up there. One, you'll get the 2 simple zaps to automate your giving stories. And if you already have a paid Zapier plan, like $20 a month one, we can also create multi-step zaps for you, just like you saw Sharon doing. You also get, now this is really cool, you also get a customized video recording which shows you how the zaps work and well, you can read it all there, how you can check out your giving. And at the end of this, then you'll be fully equipped with all the Zapier knowledge you need to go from there. So it's a brilliant little way to do it, to make sure that your first zaps are great zaps. Now, talking of great zaps, you also get this. For 30 days after your zaps have been completed, then we are there supporting you. No additional charge for that. But just in case something unexpected happens, some error threw up somewhere, so that you can be stress-free in doing your zaps, stress-free and time-free as well, and just get on doing what you do, and let us help you do these things to, as we said, make your giving even more wonderful. And that's where you go, bit.ly / make sure it's capitals now, B1G1 Zap. Yes. So, Sharon, did you want to add anything else? I'll just stop the share for a second. Did you want to add anything else to that?
No, that's basically it. I think you've already emphasized that it's for the first 50 signups. So do be quick and get your giving stories set up, and then fill up the form, and we'll be in touch with you really shortly.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned fill out the form. Let me show you. Let me just show you when you click that thing. Tickled. Do you mean tickled or ticked? I'm not sure. Anyway, not Sharon. This is someone on the chat. So let's look at this. When you click, that's always nice to know what happens when you click those things. So when you click the B1G1 Zap, yes, then you'll get this thing there to get started. And then the first thing you'll do, now notice something as well. The first thing you'll do is you'll submit this, and notice there's no credit cards or anything like that. So right. No excuse. Jump on there and let's get this thing happening, because you can just imagine what's happening and as you get to use this. And I love, Sharon, I love what you said, where you said, in effect, when B1G1 started, it was like, what if you could just do great things just by doing what you normally do? Well, what this does is kind of help us bring that promise into a greater presence, if you will, make it on there. So well done on that. By the way, Sharon, if you move your head that way, it is to your left. And
that
you
right?
might want to point up. I said, that's right. I said that, there you go, look at that. That was 187 this morning. It's now 188. And so there you go. Eileen, yes, it'd be awesome for you. And Sharon has put the links on there. So Sharon, I reckon this was great. What do you think? It was really, really cool.
Yeah, it was
And
cool.
certainly, by the way, did you see some of those questions about Stripe and PayPal and all of those things way back when? Did you see all those questions?
Yeah, I need to scroll past all the excited, brilliant, and impressive.
Yeah. So someone said, I forget who it was, said, I think it was Mark, asked about, in fact, a couple of people said, what about PayPal? What about Stripe? And so on.
Yep.
So, any quick answer to that?
Yeah, as far as I recall, PayPal and Stripe are both available on Zapier.
So the answer is yes. There you go. And if we need to change that, we'll send you a little note on the recording options as well. But you can pretty much rest assured that any Zap that you're using, because there are 1,500 Zaps there already, which is growing, you can pretty much ensure or be sure that anything that is really great, like PayPal, Stripe. Notice I gave Stripe a bigger emphasis than PayPal. Someone wanted to know about drip. The answer to that is we would just kind of look and see if there's if drip's there. Yeah, I'm not sure whether we can do that quickly, but it would be easy to find out. So we'll let you know. Who's that? Ashana in Doha. So we'll send you a little note about that, Ashana, as well. So there you go. I said earlier on, game-changing, and I hope that you've seen it that way. And Sharon, kind of interesting too, because this is game-changing for you and me to do this together, and it's just such a thrill to be doing this. But we have to. New subscribers in Drip can trigger a Zap, says Monty. Yes, the answer is yes. Thank you, Monty. So, Ashana, that is there. So, Sharon, thank you very much. Sharon got up very early this morning to get in the office to do the morning one. So I can imagine, Sharon, you're looking forward to getting home at the end of a very lovely day with dealing with all of the things that came up from this morning. But how cool is this that, we're doing something and that people really love it. So we are looking forward very much to you using all of this and seeing all of the creative things that you're able to do. So Sharon, thank you.
Yes.
Anything else you wanted to add? I think I asked you that a couple of times, so maybe not.
That's it. Whether or the DWI group, do get in touch with us and let us know what you're building, because we just love to see all the creative ideas. And
that's true.
We can share that with the rest of the community. So do let us know.
Yeah. As you build your Zaps now, let us know. We do. Thank you, Sharon. That's a really great point. Let us know, because this just expands the possibilities. And by the way, just think about this possibility. You may have heard Sharon say it earlier on. When you start using this, then what happens is in B1G1, gets, 50 people, I think, up there. Then we become, get this, the only giving app up there in the Zapping world. And so Sharon said earlier on, that just opens up a whole host of possibilities. So join us. And Eileen, yes, just fill in that form, and then all of the good things will happen from there. Looking forward to making this happen with you. So we're thrilled you were here for this. It was just great. And of course, we are so thrilled that you're here with us in B1G1. Thanks, everybody. Been a brilliant afternoon. Make sure the rest of your day is great as well. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.